Today's episode is brought to you by us. Congratulations to us on 1 year of High Noon Podcast.
Drop the beat.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to High Noon Podcast, the competitive Overwatch podcast. I am your host, The Blevins, and with me, as always, is Deathblow. What's up, buddy?
I think it's Onslaught now, isn't it?
Oh, it is Onslaught, the somehow higher ranked.
New main hype. We'll get into that in a little bit.
I said that as a joke, and then you're like, oh, actually, it is higher than my main.
Yeah, no joke.
We'll talk about that in just a second in the What Did We Do Last Week. But, guys, as you just heard, this is our 1 year podcast anniversary. We got there.
It's true. We are officially 1 year old. I didn't see it coming. It is only episode 46, so if you're trying to do math and think we might be stupid, we took a break. We were originally going to be... Actually. Yeah, we had like a couple single weeks off here or there, I believe, but we also had like an extended break during the downtime between the betas. There was a couple weeks off.
When you were playing against Jeff Kaplan 1v1 on Kings Row.
Of course. Yep, obviously. Never forget. Yeah, so it's been a year, and it's kind of crazy because it feels like it's been a couple of months.
It does
I feel
not
like the game's been out for 2 weeks. Yeah, it's different.
I'm still waiting
feeling
on beta
to
access.
Like thinking of where we were with the Hearthstone show at like the 2 month mark. It feels like we're younger than that. Like I have no fatigue or anything like that. No. Like it's phenomenal.
I'm still like just as excited to do the show as I was at the beginning. We're still in the honeymoon phase. Whereas I was like,
yeah, we self-sponsored the episode, but don't worry, guys, we haven't forgotten. It is in fact your fault. We're still here.
That's true. It's not like, oh, okay, still nothing new for Hearthstone. All right, can we just have the show be nothing but Stump the Blevins, please? Like, can we just get rid of the other segments?
We did have a lot of fun with those segments, so there was that. But
that's true.
Yeah, nonetheless, we're still working on ideas to bring some of those to you guys in this show because they were fun enough to try to recreate, but we'll hopefully have details on that. We're going to just keep teasing it.
I don't know if you saw what I added a lot to the show notes. There actually is one of those things in this episode. It's in there. You'll just have to wait for it to come up because it is.
I'm excited now. Oh, okay, I see it. I see it.
I put it in there. I finally did. Because one of our patrons, I believe it was A. Smith, but it might be someone else, so don't hate me if it was someone else, was like, hey, where's the thing that you talked about in that video? When's that happening? I'm like, you guys actually watch the video?
Right now.
Yeah, I had to plan the whole time. But I just want to say thank you to all the fans, and thank you, Deathblow, for making this such a great journey. Awesome 1 year. Couldn't have a better podcast host. Really appreciate it. It's just awesome.
Anytime, man. Not a problem. I would also like to thank me because I have to say I think I do a really. No, I'm kidding. Thanks to you as well. You're definitely the driving force behind the show. So
Which
literally could not.
I don't have a force driving license. Okay, I'm done. That's all the dumb jokes and tangents we're going to go on for today. We're just going to talk about. I'm kidding. This might actually be the most tangenty show, but also the most like content heavy show as well. So this might be a 5-hour show. So. Sit back, relax, and have a... Okay, done. Enough show tunes. Let's talk about...
Just kidding. Football game starts in 20 minutes. We're going to be here.
Let's talk about what we did last week, because we already alluded to it before, but you got an alt account.
Yes, and I laid out a goal last episode, and I'm proud to say I reached that goal.
Yeah, thanks to whom?
Thanks to me, myself, and your buddy who queued with me.
That's true. Snark is quite good.
He was there for the last 4 games, which didn't go great, but no.
No, it was the last 3 games. We went 7-3.
I know, but he was there for the last 4.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he didn't end our win streak, but I got my alt account to level 25, and last night Blevin said, "Hey man, come carry me on your alt account." I said, "That's sounds great because I haven't done my placement games yet." So we proceeded to play, and we went 7-3.
Yeah,
and it's funny because Game 7 was a little nuts. I brought Blevins and his poor friend way out of their depth because apparently at 7-0, your matchmaking rating is phenomenal.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. I think the team rating overall was like over 3K, wasn't it?
It was just shy of that.
Yeah.
So they were, and considering your rating was, I don't know,
21,
around
22.
the 2K,
Yeah.
I'm guessing they had my placement rating somewhere in the Master to Grandmaster range.
You were like definitely over 3K, probably like 35, close.
Such well-established players were in the game that when our team didn't have a rating number associated with it, chat freaked out. They're like, "Did you see that? They didn't even have a rating. What's going on here? This is ridiculous." And I'm just like, "Hey guys, I'm over here. I haven't placed yet. This game." So I'm joking around with them. I'm like, "This game's fun though. I bought it last week and I'm having a blast."
Yeah. And then I think Masters. No, was it Diamond or Masters? Diamond level 600 Genji just sliced through our whole team like a hot knife through butter.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. There were no Masters or Grandmasters on the other team.
It was Diamond then.
Right, yeah, but it was almost all Diamond on the other side, and I brought in a Platinum and a Gold rated player with me, so
and an unranked
give you an idea of where it was. Right, yeah, to give you an idea of where it was ranking me, that was what it did to us, and it was pretty brutal. So we lost the last 3, and I did it, man. I'm higher ranked than you on that account. I'm in, not only am I in Platinum tier, I am higher ranked than my main account. 2976, I believe, was the final number for where it ranked me after 7-3. So if you're wondering what happens when you do really well in your placement game, that's what happens. So if you ever want to be higher ranked than somebody, don't play for the first 3 months of a season, okay? And then play all 10 of your placement games with that person, and you will automatically rank higher than them. Really, really funny, and thank you very much for helping me rank up the account and place it. And I almost feel a little bit bad that I then, after you helped me do it, and we did so well, and we played well as a group too.
Yeah, we did.
Synced our alts up. We were wombo comboing people. Our first placement game, I was being told that my hero choice was bad, and I just laughed. We had a game where I'm playing Reaper, and after the second round, we were 1-1 on a King of the Hill. They're like, "Hey Reaper, can you switch with me?" And I'm like, "No, thanks, friend." And they're like,
He goes.
I'm sitting there with 4 gold medals, and the gold medal argument, we've talked about it. It's a waste. Don't make it. But yeah, I was sitting there with 4 gold medals, playing extremely well. And we just needed to switch up our tanks a little bit, and then we cruised. But I literally had it was 40% of the team damage. Yeah. So it was just really, really fun to me to go drop down into wood tier for a couple games and play with those guys.
It was really interesting because it felt like the first 7 games were all bottom of the barrel, literal wood tier, and then games 8, 9, and 10 were all just Diamond plus. It was just such a drastic I feel like I could probably at least hold my own a little bit better in those Diamond plus level games, but it was we were playing oh well, I'm just gonna close my eyes and pick a character and we'll carry, to holy crap, I think this Genji's going to get signed next week. I think he's going to the Combine. It was
I'll say this. If we'd won Game 8, I feel fairly confident we would have seen Master players in the next game.
Yeah, I think so.
That's how big the jump was going. And I probably would have just placed right into Diamond.
Yeah, and then you probably would have paid for the name switch and then just traded accounts with your buddy.
Yeah, and just been rip all my skins, everything I've been working on for all the events.
Worth it.
But right now, if I never finish it and get the last 24 rating points, which it's my alt account, I don't really care about it. It very well might not happen that I'll at least have finished higher on my main account, which I guess is something. That's
true. But yeah, that was really fun. And hopefully we can play our placement games together next season, so that I'll actually have a decent rank, and then I can lose it again see it drop precipitously like I did last month.
Doubt it. Get good.
Get great is what I'm going to try to do. But let's move on to what did you guys do last week, because there was a lot. First and foremost, We have a new patron. Hype! Rev Deadly Pudding is our newest patron at the $1 level. Thank you, Rev Deadly Pudding. I will be sending you a message very shortly. Hopefully, by the time you hear this episode, not live. If you're in the Twitch chat right now, I'll send it to you soon. But you should be getting your message with the Discord info before you hear this episode. So,
did we shout out Dude last week?
We did shout out Dude last week. No, we probably didn't shout out Dude last week.
We did. Yeah.
We also got a patron from Dude Abiding at the, I don't have it in front of me, $3 level, I think. I'm pretty sure. Dude Abiding. I did send him his message, though. That's why I didn't think of it.
Yes. Yes, I saw him in the Discord.
He is in the Discord. So, Dude, and also Rev Deadly Pudding, thank you so much for the patronage. If you guys want to support the show in a way that's more than just listening to us, you never have to, but if you'd like to, you can head over to patreon.com/highnoonpodcast. And I talked about it a little bit with you earlier, Death, but I want to add more stuff to the $1 and $3 level. I don't know what it's going to be and what ways we're going to do it, but I want to add more stuff. So if you're already at the $1 or $3 level, keep an eye and an ear out for on Patreon to see what we're going to be adding. I'm definitely going to add something. What it is and how stupid it's going to be, I don't know.
If you have any incredibly stupid ideas of things we could do for people, by all means, feel free to send those to us as well.
Absolutely. Whether you're a patron or not, if you have ideas for those levels, tweet at us at High Noon Podcast on Twitter. But we've got a lot to talk about, so let's keep on moving. Another huge announcement. Our boy Hexagrams made it into the big leagues. Could not be happier for Hexagrams, who is confirmed, a confirmed Overwatch caster at DreamHack Montreal. So, Hex,
the full Dream Team is in attendance at DreamHack. We'll have the Hex and ZP combo.
Yes.
I'm also very excited to hear Hex cast with some of the other personalities that'll be there. I don't have the full list in front of me. I think there's at least one other one. If it's Uber Shouts, that would be awesome because we know he's great.
I would have been going even more ecstatic, but if it is,
but I was going to say, as awesome as that would be, I would still love to hear Hex get paired up with some of the other personalities that have been doing some of these tournaments.
Yeah.
Really get him intermingled in there, and hopefully we continue to see him at some of these other lands and things like that. Mm-hmm. And also, we're going to really put the screws to him to join us on an episode shortly after DreamHack, so we can get a firsthand experience about what that event was like.
Yeah, I mean, I'd even like to get him on before too, just to hear what he has to say about getting to the big leagues. I just want to hear. But Hex knows very well that the invitation is always open for him. Maybe I'll poke and prod him a little bit to try to get him on sooner rather than later. And also listening in. For those of you who are live on Twitch, don't spoil it, but for those of you listening in podcast land, we did just have, as of the recording of this show, we just had a really, really fantastic interview with Manny Anacol. Talked about Overwatch League and Business of Esports. That's going to be coming out, I believe. We haven't really decided the scheduling for it. It might be its own episode. It might be a side video / episode. We don't know yet. Might be both.
It went longer than we planned.
It'll probably
so we might put up an abbreviated version of the episode and then have a full-length interview on the YouTube channel or something like that. It was just a really phenomenal conversation with Manny.
Episode 46.5 or something, or 47.5.
I can't imagine there are too many people out there with more business knowledge about the esports industry, so it was great to talk to Manny. Really appreciate, a big shot taking the time out to talk to us. Yeah, single game plebs, as he has his ear to the ground of every game, everything going on with esports. And the Next Level podcast is his show. Feel free to check that out and listen in before you hear the interview to get a little bit of an idea of who we'll be talking to.
Yeah, so absolutely huge thanks to Manny. It was a phenomenal interview, and you guys, it was a treat for me being it, actually doing the interviewing. I'm like, I don't even want to be here anymore. I just want to listen to this.
Right? It's my turn to talk.
I just want to ask the question and then just fade away and listen to him because he's just so knowledgeable. But I don't want to overtalk that too much because we did literally just have this interview and we still have a ton of stuff to go. So check that out. It's going to definitely be on YouTube 100%, and it might even be its own podcast. It probably will be its own podcast episode now that I think about it, just because it's worth. I don't want to keep the podcasters from that because it was a great interview. But man, we alluded to this while we were recording the show last week, and I didn't even capture all of them. But Overwatch Today, one of our patrons, one of our biggest fans, just went completely ham with the memes. For those of you who follow us every week, Overwatch Today has just made it a point to just make, one, maybe two different memes from the show, just like silly things that we say, dumb things that I say, and just turns them into perfect memes and captures those moments just so perfectly in meme form. Well, Overwatch Today went completely ham, like I said. I have a couple here, and I know, Jim, you mentioned a few that I just completely forgot to get, but we'll do this one. So, High Noon Podcast. Listen once for content, listen twice for the memes. That just defines the whole segment. This is my personal favorite one, and the new title for the show. It's actually a geometrically well-defined competitive Overwatch newscast with the right length on tangents in meme form. So great that we really do need to change the title of the show to that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And this one, while it says High Noon Podcast, I think it's probably mostly me. At High Noon Podcast, we completely make up the numbers so you don't have to. So good.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Overwatch Today. Guys, follow him on Twitter at Overwatch Today. He has his own podcast as well. Check that out, Overwatch Today. He's also on Instagram. He's got like a ton of Instagram followers. It's crazy. He posts all of his memes there and tags us, or at least tags me as well, and also shows the podcast. So definitely follow him on all that stuff. Really great. One of our biggest fans, and really appreciate it. So lastly, what you guys did today, or what you guys did last week, Rudism is back again. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Rudism, he is the now infamous Twitch caster who famously played Winston with literal bananas and played Hanzo with a Nerf a bow and arrow.
Diva with dual flight sticks.
He's now back, and he played Symmetra with a literal microwave.
Yeah, one of the funniest things you'll ever see, at least one of the funniest things I've ever seen relating to Overwatch. Yeah. He literally has to close the microwave to activate his ultimate. I'm sorry for the spoilers, but
it's so good.
Just absolutely cracks me up, and he's just a super entertaining guy and streamer. And if there was infinite time in the day, I would never miss a minute of his stream. So make sure you check him out, twitch.tv/Rudism.
Yes, and we will post the link in the show notes as well as Overwatch Today's links as well. But let's move on. I feel bad for the one person that listens to us just for the just for the tournament stuff and then hates all the tangents. They're like, "Oh my god, when are they going to stop talking? I just want to hear the tournaments." I'm sorry. I love you. I love that person too. But here's the tournament talk. I'm going to go over quickly a couple of tournaments I went over. So OGN Apex series is still going on. I believe at the time we're recording, they're actually playing the last the last non-playoff round, I think. But I didn't capture that. So I'm just going to go over a couple of highlights from each of the groups for now. And then once the playoffs start, we'll be covering the playoffs a little more in depth like we would for a normal tournament. But so Group A, we've still got Rogue holding strong at 3-0, Rogue baby, and then the rest of the group is kind of just random teams with random records, so I'm not going over it. Group B, we had BK Stars, I believe I want to say Korean team, but it's an Asia Pacific team. I'm not sure exactly where. It's 3-0. NRG, aka Seagull's team, aka Shaq's team, at a disappointing 1-2, and MVP Space, who I believe we've seen playing a couple of Gosu Gamers Weeklies from Korea, at 0-3, surprisingly enough. In Group C, We have Lunatic High, who was basically Team Korea. Like, that team is basically all of Team Korea from the Overwatch World Cup. Is 2-0, and Envious is at 2-1. And then in Group D, we've got Reunited at 2-1. So it's been an interesting series. Again, that tournament, I want to watch that tournament, but it's so tough because I get a notification from Slasher at 3 in the morning that just says, hey, the Overwatch OG and Apex tournament is about to start. Come check it out. I'm like, dude, I've been asleep for multiple hours now. Why?
Right. Yeah, it's been tough. I actually haven't caught a single minute of that event yet myself. I'm probably just going to hang tight and then watch the top 8 or whatever the finals is. But nonetheless, it's a good thing though that there's fast becoming more Overwatch than we can keep up with. So
yeah, and intercontinental, international Overwatch. The mix of the regions I really like. Like I really do wish that there was an easy way for NA to watch those tournaments. So if anyone from OGN is listening or a rebroadcaster of some sort, there is at least a market of 2 people that would watch your English broadcast. Or I believe it's still in English, but that would watch your NA safe time broadcast. So moving right along, we've got the Alienware monthly melee for November. We saw Cloud9, Immortals, Kingdom Esports, and LG in the top 4. And we saw Cloud9 beat Immortals 3-0. And then last tournament we're talking about this week is the Beyond the Summit Route 66 Cup, which featured ZP drinking a bunch of hot sauce. Yep. And in the top 4 of that, we saw FaZe, Immortals, Cloud9, and Rise Nation. We saw Cloud9 and FaZe in the finals. However, FaZe had the one series up advantage, so Cloud9 actually had to do what I called at the time a reverse sweep, which apparently that's not. But they had to beat them twice, and they did. Cloud9 beat FaZe 2-0 twice in order to seal the deal for the Beyond the Summit Route 66 Cup.
I was hoping to verify that before you said it on the show, because I do not remember them having to beat them in 2 best-of-3s. I just thought it was the one.
I know for a fact. I was watching it while we were playing last night.
Yeah, I was too, but I was obviously a little distracted if I didn't pick up.
No, I can tell you exactly why I know it was 2, because they were, before the series, they were talking. It's like, okay, Cloud9 gets a chance to face them again. They lost earlier. ZP, and then they go, ZP, who are you choosing? And ZP's like, well, my gut says Cloud9, but I'm going to go with the statistics because FaZe has the advantage. I'm going to choose FaZe, and that's why ZP ended up having to drink the hot sauce at the end, because Cloud9 did, in fact, do the not reverse sweep and win twice in a row.
Well, they definitely had a very impressive performance. I know that, as I think the finals was the one I watched the least close of the entire tournament. But this new Cloud9 roster, man, they have been very, very impressive, and the results are showing it. And it's really a little bit unfortunate because we have these 2 huge horses in the race, in NRG and Envious, over in the Asia Pacific region, competing in those tournaments. I am very, very excited to see what happens when the NA bracket gets back together all in one big tournament and everything goes down. And we had an announcement this week, and I don't see it in the notes, but the
nope, I definitely forgot to put that in, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, is it MLG? Is that?
Yes, it's MLG Vegas.
Yes, so the announcement for the teams for that has been out, and that is exactly what we're looking for in the, and it's going to be a LAN environment, so everybody will be on their way to Las Vegas in order to compete, and I'm really, really excited as I'm trying to get the teams that are
I've got it right here. So
perfect.
It's awesome because it's an NA tournament, and we're going to see Envious, Fnatic, Cloud9, FaZe, Liquid, Rise Nation, NRG, and Complexity all facing off at MLG Vegas, which, if I didn't just go to 2 cons very recently, and if it were just a little bit easier of a sell to the girlfriend, I'd consider going to this. But I think I'm going to bank it and just go to DreamHack Montreal. No, I'm probably not going to go to either. But I need to bank all the time off, all the this, that, and the other thing to just have season tickets to Overwatch League. Like that's what I got to save for, right? Like everything else is irrelevant. I need to see some Overwatch League once it starts happening. So I'm going to be saving for multiple years now.
Well, and one more thing while we're covering announcements, just some things I noticed over the course of the weekend. Some team names have changed too, specifically that I've noticed. Not necessarily the biggest names in the game, but Bonjour is the old Melty Esports Club.
Oh, and one of the oldest standing, formerly standing regimes in the competitive Overwatch scene.
Yeah, to my knowledge, I haven't seen them in action. I just noticed that an announcement or a little notifier that they had changed names. But also, Slav Squad is the old Anox. So,
okay.
Some new names you might see around in the next couple of weeks. Just want you to know they're not, we even have trouble with maintaining all the rosters. So looking at the 6 guys on the teams won't necessarily tell you, oh, okay, I know exactly who this was. But those are, to my knowledge, still the same 6 members.
So
just
it's the team with the 6 nondescript, out of shape looking European guys.
Okay, so that's all of them.
So it's literally every team. But yeah, so before we break it down, I want to talk about a couple of things that have been going on from our side. I know we were a little top heavy, so I'm going to keep this one short. We're doing another giveaway, guys. We alluded to it before, and I launched it actually when I released last week's episode. But we're giving away one of these bad boys, and for those of you on video, you can see this is a Pachimari plush, an Overwatch BlizzCon official Pachimari plush. It squeaks, as you can hear in podcast land. We're giving one away. I've got an extra one. I actually have an extra 2, but I have an extra one now. If you check out our pinned tweet, at least it was the pinned tweet at the time, we have the ability to put like a giveaway tab on the website, right? Maybe. Yes. We'll put it somewhere on the website. There. Check out highnoonpodcast.com. It will be there, and hopefully a way that is obvious. Otherwise, I'm gonna put the link to the giveaway in the notes. So if you're following us on Twitter and all that stuff, following us on subscribing to us on iTunes, all that good stuff, all that stuff that you're already doing is going to be getting you entries. So you might as well just throw your name in. I'd rather give it to you. And I mean you, the person listening right now. Yes, the one sitting in your seat. I mean you. I want to give it to you. And you might as well get rewarded for the things you're already doing. And if you're a new listener and you're not sure, I don't really have a good reason to follow. Now you do. Can you say no to this plush? I mean seriously. Can you say no to him? And for Podcast Realm, you just can't say no to that. It's just too cute. But check out that. And are we ready to talk about the other thing on the list, or should we wait? The thing underneath the plush giveaway on the notes.
Let's wait a little bit on that.
We've got another thing that's coming out down the line, but we checked some of the infrastructure stuff that we talked about checking before, and it doesn't work right now. So there's no real reason for us to reveal it. Definitely,
we want to wait and see if Blizzard's going to outwardly support our idea without knowing it. Yes. Otherwise, we're going to have to figure out some logistics for how to pull it off, like we were originally planning to. But there will be much more details about that coming up.
Yes, and for those of you who have followed us closely and watched most of our live stuff, you probably already have an idea what that is, because we're very we definitely don't hold things back in terms of leaking, but for the general podcast public, you probably don't know. But let us move on now to the hopefully maybe close to end of the show. Who knows? No, probably not. This is like the exact midway point of the show. But
let's break it down.
Yes, let us break it down. We've got some PTR changes that I believe.
Whoa. What about the new segment, bro?
Oh, the new segment, you say. You said new segment. The new segment is what I like to call Soldier 76 Says.
We're going to need some form of audio clip for this, in my opinion. So if anybody has any ideas, feel free to let us know.
We have sound effects for so many heroes, but none of them are Soldier 76.
Yeah, I'll look at getting something, even if it's just him going, "Young punks, get off my lawn."
Young punks, get off my lawn. That's the point. I can just do it myself. That's the whole point of the segment. I can do it. So what I want to do with Soldier 76 says, there's a lot of things, especially for myself, that plays a lot of quick match, or not quick match, but plays competitive by myself or maybe with one other person. There's a lot of things that I just want to say to my teammates, but for the sake of not getting into an argument on the internet and this, that, and the other thing, I just don't say them, because you know what, at the end of the day, it's probably not worth it. However, I do still want those things to be said, and I want them to be said by an authority figure. So who better than the dad of Overwatch himself, Soldier 76, to say him. So today's Soldier 76 says is going to be what I like to call the Symmetra clause. So the Symmetra clause goes as follows.
The Symmetra clause. If you're gonna play Symmetra, Widow, Torbjorn, or Bastion. I can't even say it without saying bastard. If you're gonna play Symmetra, Widow, Torbjorn, or Bastion, that's fine. But if you're bad, switch. And that's Soldier 76 says.
So that's going to be kind of how the segment is. We might switch it up. Who knows? If you like it, let us know. If you hate it, let us know. I had fun doing it. We're gonna keep doing it. If you have something that you want, if you have something that you want 76 to say, let us know. But
back to breaking it down, though. Yeah, we can move on to these PTR changes. And we talked about it, and we weren't 100% sure if we've discussed these changes before. The thing about these changes is now, though, if we talked about them before, we said this is what they're doing, but they're planning on making drastic changes, and none of these are going to go live. So we talked about them quick, went over them, didn't worry too much about them. Oops. There was an announcement this past week that basically said, hey, we were trying this experiment where we would change things really drastically on the PTR. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to figure it out, everything we did seemed to work out very, very well. So now they're anticipating near every single one of these changes, including the couple of minor changes that got added at a later date, to go live and stay with the game. So we're going to go over them. We're not going to be super, super in depth. We're going to give you what they're going to do, talk about any impact directly they'll have on play percentage, things like that, and then just move on.
Yeah, so I figured we'll go over them. I'll go over them one by one. You can give a little, if there's something to say about it in terms of the meta or anything like that, chime in. If not, we'll move right along. So let's start with the nerfs, because they're always depressing, and I don't want to end on something depressing. So first one, Lucio, his amp it up, healing per second is decreased by 10%. Yes, no. Does it change anything?
No.
Nothing changed. Okay. I think
it's still the speed boost that's super good, and the fact that the other team might have all 6 players moving any percentage faster than the other team is a deal breaker, and I think Lucio will still be pretty much.
Yeah, 100%. It's basically always been his speed boost, and like they've nerfed his ult, they've nerfed his healing, they've nerfed his damage. Like since beta, they've done all these things, and it's just always. They've even nerfed a bit his speed, but like the fact that he provides more speed than the other team makes it so that you have to play him. Now it just feels worse to play him. So like the Lucio player is just like, oh man, I didn't want to do this, I just have to. So I don't know.
He's less noticeable now in the game.
Yeah, it'll
be brutal.
It almost seems like they're going the wrong direction, but I don't know. All right, moving right along. Zarya, power gained from both of her barriers, her self one and projected one, decreased by 20%. Yes, no. Does it change anything?
Yes, definitely changes things. There's also a little bit of a buff to her. I was talking to Afterthought. He's kind of excited about Zarya post-patch because there's something about her tracking that's being increased, and I don't know the details of it. Or, so she's getting a slight buff alongside with it, or so I'm told. But I do think overall, generally, just her raw power is dropped, which means her overall value is going to go down. Now she'll move into more of a counter role. I expect to see a little bit more Roadhog. Obviously, Reinhardt's not going anywhere or anything like that. So, and also what we're seeing from South Korea in the Overwatch Open, or not the Overwatch Open, but the World Cup, things like that, tells me look for Winston in this place.
I picked him up. Just seeing Miro play Winston just like inspired me to play him in a different way, and it's been working out way better than it was for me before. So definitely like seeing that diversity. And like I can say from personal experience, like those first 7 games that we played, when I played Zarya, like I was at like 100% the whole time, like very easily. And you just
especially at wood tier when people are just like, oh, my accuracy's better because there's this big bubble.
It's like, oh, I can hit him easier now. Hit him with some fish liver oil. Had to throw that one. Shout outs to Peach. But yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit disappointed because I want to see Zarya be powerful as I play her, but now it'll just give me an excuse to play more Winston. So happy. All right, moving right along. Anna, Nano Boost no longer increases move speed. What does this do?
It's a big deal. Now when you nano boost your Reinhardt or your Reaper, they're not necessarily just, oh, I wasn't in position before, but that's okay because I can sure get there now. They have to already be in position, which makes Anna a little bit less of a, impossible to screw up sort of a support player.
Yeah, tell that to the huge number of Lucios I see get nano boosted every game.
I was just going to say, there's still a huge skill cap to Anna. Like she's a very high skill cap character, in my opinion, as far as supports go. Just maybe not so much when she's hitting Q. And really now it's going to take a little bit more of a coordination and a little bit more of a timing between her and the target, whether it be the Reinhardt or the Reaper. And it's going to be a game changer. It will have to wait and see because, spoiler alert, on the buff list, there's no supports listed there. So there's not a lot of added things for supports to kind of take her spot. But at least it'll change the way she's played if it doesn't change who is played.
Yeah, so definitely interesting. I always like to see the shift. We definitely did start to see some more Mercy this week. So maybe,
as Farah's been seeing a little more play, obviously Mercy goes hand in hand with
so. And the last nerf that we saw this week was Mei. Her Blizzard ultimate cost has been increased by 15%. Yes, no, does it change?
It definitely changes things a little bit because that's really a 40% increase because of the static 25% that everybody's getting. So it's a big deal, and I'm not 100% convinced it changes her place in the meta. Like she's still just going to have a kind of a niche role in certain spots, and there's going to be maps where people like her. Listen, the ultimate on Mei isn't what brought people to playing her. It was the wall, and it was the ability to be that much better than your average player with the right clicks and things like that. And that's what separated the Meis from the other ones. So I'm going to hit you with a no, but it definitely changes her play style and her value in certain spots. Maybe she's less valuable in 2 CP maps, things like that, or even in King of the Hill. But I think in payload, like when you see her on defense in King's Row or something like that, I don't think that's changing because you just stop the guy you're shooting at from running away by putting a wall behind him. That's the value. So she'll probably see about as much play, but her overall power will be a little bit lower. It's not a huge nerf.
True. And then I actually forgot to list it, but we had a Burf with Torbjorn. He kind of got like a little bit of a rework. He now like passively generates scrap. His hammer does less damage but swings faster, so I think that's like kind of a net neutral. He gains less scrap from people dying, but he passively generates, so it's like a shifting, right? I don't think they changed him enough to really affect anything one way or the other, but they changed how he works, so I don't think it's going to change anything, right?
It'll be really, really interesting to see. Like you said, though, I'll believe it changes things when I see that it changes things.
Right. I mean, it is interesting that him passively generating scrap means that he can just stay in the back forever and provide a shield like once every, I don't know what it breaks down to, but I'm guessing like 15 or 20, maybe 30 seconds.
If you can get one shield off or one armor pack down during the initial fight, even if you're dropping it while the enemy's there, it might be a big deal because an extra any amount of HP on your Mercy or on your Lucio is a really big deal for a team fight. And he's seen play before. I don't think he's super far off of being able to come back and be a part of the meta. He's just not there, and it's very difficult to imagine a stationary turret making a huge splash in the competitive scene.
Yeah, I think he's in a good spot. He's a niche pick. He sees play on certain maps at certain points, and then he doesn't at other points. I think we've talked about this like since like the beginning. Like it's very tough to make a character like him or like Bastion good enough to see competitive play, but not but at the same time not good enough to see every bit of competitive play. Like it's very feast or famine with those types of heroes, where it's like they're either too good or they're not good enough. But I think he shies a little bit closer towards not good enough. But I think he's definitely in a decent place. So maybe this will push him up, and maybe he'll see a little bit more play. That would be nice. But I do like very tempered improvements to Torbjorn and to Bastion as well, if you're going to improve them. So let's move on to the just straight up buffs. 76, his bullet damage went from 17 to 20, and his maximum bullet spread increased from 2.2 to 2.4. The first point makes a lot of sense. He does 3 more damage per bullet. The second one, I have literally no idea what that means.
Yeah, so the maximum bullet spread, it's just basically the tight circle that it was possible for him to shoot in is now 0.2 units bigger. I notice we don't have inches. Okay. I assume it's inches. So he's got a slightly bigger spread to him, but it
depends on what map you're on, if it's inches or centimeters.
I suppose that might be true, but for some reason I don't think it is. But anyways, he's definitely, I think, going to make a bit of a resurgence here. We used to see, standing on the high end of the cafe on Hollywood, 0.1 defense. There were some spots for 76 in the past, and there were some very, very good Soldier 76 players. So I'm very excited about this change. McCree has fallen off. Defense. He's not... Yeah, we won't have hero stacking, but if you've got a McCree and a Soldier opposite each other now, all of a sudden you might have the ability to get something like that back. Yeah. And you can even throw the Widow in there too for a little extra carnage. But we'll have to wait and see exactly how it all shakes up. I personally can't wait to try that crossfire defense strategy with the changes, but we'll have to wait and see exactly how it works out. But I think the fact that McCree was falling off in play a little bit, and the fact that Soldier 76 wasn't seeing an increase in competitive play in tournaments, but I just felt like playing the game when there's a Pharah opposite me, I felt like I was useful when I played 76, and I didn't always feel that way. So I think he's going to be in a good spot to come back into the meta, and it might be in a big way. He might be pretty close to like 70-80% pick rate.
Yeah, I was watching IDDQD's stream yesterday, and he said that he thought that the new 76 was so good that they were going to have to nerf him again. So them's bold things to say, but I'm happy. I like playing him. He's one of my favorite DPSs. I think Pharah, I don't know. I like them all a little bit, but I like 76, I think, a little bit more than most. But let's move on to one of my favorite heroes. Actually, she might be my favorite DPS, even though she's not actually DPS. Diva, her mech health increased to 200, which it was at 100. The armor still remains at 400, so a 100 health overall point increase. And her movement speed while firing has been increased by 25%. And I believe there's also her call mech alt charge alt charge or alt cost was reduced by an amount to factor in the global change. So her call mech is the same as it was.
And that's the ultimate of building back up to your mech, not being able to
get
implode.
Into the mech.
Go from baby diva to big diva. Once again, that will be roughly the same speed, and obviously everybody's ultimates will be significantly slower to build up. But this change is a pretty big deal. As we look at a nerf to Zarya, who's the go-to off-tank, I really think Diva is going to be in a fairly strong spot. When you consider that she's now going to have the HP of Roadhog, but also will be carrying a shield around with her, that really kind of tells you everything you need to know. And the Diva
shield can counter so many alts.
So many. And in a nanocopter meta right now, in the fact that she just walks straight up to that Reaper, holding down right click, and eats him up 360 degrees around the Reaper. If you're standing right next to him, everything's gone. And the dynamic and the way that shield works has always been super, super interesting to me, and I think one of the cooler abilities in the game. So I'm really excited to see Diva come back. I've picked her up and started playing her a little bit, and I've got to say she's better than I ever gave her credit for in this current meta, and just a little bit less than, obviously, I mean, Zarya is just so good right now, and when you're not running Zarya, you're probably going to go with a Winston or a Roadhog, but 600 HP is a big change. A little less shield now. No, it's going to be the same amount of shield. They just added it in the health, not the shield or the armor.
Yeah.
End of things. So,
yeah,
I don't know. It's tough to see. I think the movement speed while firing is probably a bigger quality of life change than it is buff, but it is still a buff. It is a significant thing to your ability to participate in combat, and probably going to just make the character a whole lot more fun to play and just a little bit better.
Yeah, I've been playing D.Va for a long time, regardless of the buffs and nerfs. I think that she just feels great. She's got a lot of HP. She doesn't have to reload. You can just, eat away at shields. And if you're good at her, you can actually, her spread is big, but you can actually punish people. Like, you can do a lot of damage with those shotgun type rounds. So I've had a lot of fun with D.Va. Any buffs to D.Va are always welcome in my home. So
might be no better feeling than dying and then skipping away scot-free with no punishment.
Yeah, it is great. Yeah, and when your ult is literally just get an extra life, like, that's awesome. Right. That sometimes can also kill someone. Yeah, it's the feel goods. But let's move on to another one of my favorite characters, possibly my favorite DPS, Pharah. Her hover jet lift is increased by 35%. And what this means is that you can shift and then kind of glide a little bit, keep pressing space bar to stay up, keep pressing space bar, glide a little bit, float down a little bit, and then by the time your shift gets back up, you'll still be in the air and can shift up again and go up and continue ad nauseum.
Yeah, it does appear from what I haven't played with her on the PTR yet. This is one of those new changes that have kind of come in. Is it pretty much that? You can just stay in the air?
It is. I don't know. I know that you can stay in the air for at least 3 shifts worth. I haven't gone in and just tested it for the sake of testing it. I've just done it in practice, like in 1v1s.
If you can keep yourself afloat after shift through to the next one, I don't see any reason. It would take user error to break the chain, I think.
What it was.
Yeah.
And I was also not trying to do it. I would just touch down for strategy reasons or mess up or something. Right. And you absolutely can do it with your blast back.
Right, to help you stay up.
To stay up, yeah. It's not even close if you use that as well. But yeah, it's a whole new world of Pharah.
More mobile Pharah is in fact frightening, and I think that maybe more than any of the nerfs to Lucio or anything like that, or Anna, anything might help bring Mercy back into the meta in a big way. There's no safer place to be for Mercy than at the top of the map, at the vertical limit.
True.
And the closer she can get to being up there, and if she doesn't ever have to come down, because her shift comes up really fast compared to Pharah's.
Yeah.
So you can definitely stay afloat, and you don't have any power to
and you float,
govern your floating.
Shift, you just,
right. So this is a big deal, and I think it might be a bigger Mercy buff than a Pharah buff.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I've been picking up Pharah and playing her because she's kind of that last projectile DPS I need to be able to put in my toolkit to call myself a flex player, and she's good right now. I've been really enjoying playing her. She's felt strong.
I used her.
Yeah, I don't think there's a better character than Pharah for 0.1 on Eichenwald. Because you can just go completely around the defense and come out from towards their spawn. And
wait, really?
Oh yeah, how do you not know
on attack?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it's phenomenal. I'll show it to you.
Yeah, you're gonna have to show it to me.
Yeah, and it's great, and I really think that anything you can do to help Pharah is good for the game. So I expect to see Pharah come back, and I'm excited to see some of our old big time Pharah players get back on this.
Yeah, I want to see Mangachu really just go ham.
Mangachu and oh man, who's
Tailspin?
It's one of the I was going to say I get one of these guys confused with the other one so much, but yeah, Tailspin is just another lights out Pharah that is phenomenal to watch play. So keep an eye out for these guys if they're streaming and they have PTR in the title. It's definitely worth watching to get a little glimpse into Overwatch's near future.
Yeah, and speaking, and this will be the last PTR change we talk about, but we had another, I don't know, I'd say maybe a little thing that happened with Overwatch. We got a new hero, Sombra. Sombra. What are your thoughts? What does she do? Is she going to impact anything? Is she better or worse? Is she garbage? Is she too strong? Is she not strong enough? What are your thoughts on Sombra?
Yes. Everything, yes.
She
I'm in a weird
hacked my
spot.
brain.
I'm in a weird spot on Sombra, because if you remember, as we talked about her through the beginning of the ARG fiasco and everything that was going on, it became pretty apparent from a flavor standpoint that this girl probably had stealth or some cloaking ability. And I had one request of Blizzard, and that was, please, if you're going to make a stealth character, let's not have it deal damage. I'm not a fan of it. I don't like Nova and Heroes of the Storm. I don't like playing Nova. I don't like playing against Nova. And that's not a pure stealth. There's a shimmer. You can see him. And it's not good enough. It's still, to me, one of the most cancerous things that can be in a game. Timo and Twitch, congratulations. You and the community are the two reasons I don't play League of Legends anymore. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit nervous. Now, with that said, that is one of Sombra's abilities, and I have a huge problem with it. Translocate is another one of Sombra's abilities, and that looks sweet. I'm super pumped. I think I'm going to enjoy playing this particular cancerous stealth monstrosity of a character. Yeah. I fully anticipate despising playing against it, because the stealth lasts forever. It takes so long to wear off, and it's probably like 10 seconds, but in a fast-paced shooter like Overwatch, that might as well be a year or like a map and a half or something like that.
And her translocator is out for 15.
Right, and you move super fast when you're stealth. The hacking ability is pretty cool. I really like it. I don't fully understand it yet. There's a lot of give and take. What can you hack? What can't you hack? I don't have any feel for it yet, so I try to hack everything. It doesn't work out super well. I haven't had many really strong games on Sombra. I'll get her figured out. I don't know what place she'll have in the metagame, but my instinct is that the movement speed boost as being part of the stealth is probably a game breaker. To just be here, disappear, and then just be completely gone is really, really powerful, especially with the ability to have, before you stealth, drop this translocate thing nobody can find or kill or do anything about.
But you can find it, you just can't kill it.
Right. You can see it on the ground, but it's small, not super noticeable. It's not glowing like other things. As I get the hiccups, it's the worst thing that can happen to you when you're recording a podcast.
I think it does glow a little bit, but it doesn't it has like a light on it, but it doesn't glow like
right, not like an outer glow. It's just it's just part of the art on it. But Translocate looks awesome. You can throw it and activate it like really, really soon right afterwards. You can just kind of use it as a pop straight up in the air ability. It looks really cool. The hack, like I said, I love the idea of shutting down health packs for other people. The number of times somebody's attacking you, and then you think to like Anubis, how they sneak underneath that bridge, get that health pack, and then come out on the left side, your left side of the point, full HP. It's the worst, right? Well, it doesn't really happen anymore with Sombra. I have concerns here. I think she's going to be too good, and we've talked with Hex about how you have to kind of front load these heroes to make them almost too good. I'm hoping they do some tweaking before she goes live. I don't think the stealth needs to last that long. I don't think you need to move so ridiculously fast when you're in stealth. I love the mobility. Please don't touch Translocate. Watch them. That'd be the only thing they nerf.
Stealth now lasts longer, and Translocate is gone.
Yeah, and Blevins, you've seen more of this. You've seen more of this than I have, but there's a significant amount of damage output. Like, I mean, she almost has this like half supporty feel to her because of what her kit does. But no, that gun, if you're accurate with it, is deadly. She will shred people. I'm really nervous about this. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I think so. A couple of points got brought up that I thought were interesting that I saw on Twitter. Well, the first thing was when I first saw her and played her at BlizzCon, I'm like, her damage output is garbage. I then saw IDDQD and Mendo play her, and that was wrong. I'm free to admit it. She puts out a lot of damage when you're good. I did not put out a lot of damage with her. The Translocate is awesome. I think that's like her marquee ability. I think that's the most important thing. With Hack being very close, because I think two things are going to happen. She is going to be hacking the health packs, like you said, and that's going to be like a give and take and a battle. depending on the point. The other thing is being able to get in position with your translocate and your invisible and hacking the enemy Reinhardt. Because when the enemy Reinhardt gets hacked, his shield goes down and he cannot use his shield. So all of a sudden, that big impenetrable shield that you've been chunking away at is just automatically down, and you just unleash the floodgates. Like, even if she gets in and hacks, and I think the hack goes off in like a second, like 1 second.
Pretty quick, but there's a little bit of a channel to it.
There's a little bit of a channel, but like, unless, like, if you're invisible and you start hacking, unless the other team like turns around immediately and kills you, you're gonna get the hack off. Excuse me, they're probably still going to kill you, which is fine, but trading your life for a Reinhardt shield is probably worth it in depending on the situation. Like, that's my guess. And like, if you can get the hack off and then translocate back somewhere, kill a support or something, like the poke potential is insane. The ability to shut down the shield is insane. Her ult is quite good. Someone brought up that like her ult's not better than Reinhardt's. Because Reinhardt does the same thing. Like, it does a bunch of damage and stuns people. It's like, okay, her ult is worse than Reinhardt's. There's a lot of room between bad ult and Reinhardt's ult. Like, there is a lot of room to be very good in between those two things.
Yeah, like the Reinhardt ultimate it might be one of the best ones in the game because it's like his only ability in a lot of ways. Like, you just stand there holding right click on Reinhardt until you go nuts.
His ult gets countered by literal other Reinhardt shield. So, like, the comparison is not 1-to-1 for sure. So, I think she's powerful. I like that she's powerful. I think just from what I've played with her, I think you're over fearing the stealth, but I do understand the sentiment, and I think that it can be bad. I mean, you can still attack her when she's in stealth too, and you can't, like, the good thing is that she doesn't like throw down a puff of smoke and like become invulnerable for a second then go stealth. Like, if you're getting shot at and you use stealth, you're just gonna die. And if you get hit by a stray bullet, you're going to die. If you get hit by a lightning rod, a Winston lightning, it's gonna de-stealth you. And like, there's a lot of things to stop it, but at the same time, like, a precision Sombra is going to be very deadly. But I'm not necessarily against that.
Part of my fear is that it's very difficult. It's like trying to balance these turret classes, right? Like, my experience with stealth characters is that you are either overpowered and ruining the game, or you're just so bad you can't really realistically be played in top level of competitive play.
Right.
And those characters need to exist in the game. I get it. Like, it's an archetype. People are a huge fan of it. I fear about my desire to queue up ranked if every game has a Sombra in it. And that's more my fear than anything else, but I also, and one of the stealth characters I have had bad experiences with and enjoying the game and things like that has been made by Blizzard. So I don't know. I give them so much credit all the time. I just trust them implicitly to do things the right way. But I've seen them handle this in a way I wasn't a fan
But the
of.
difference is, so like Nova, for instance, let's just use Nova or Zeratul from Heroes of the Storm. Like, they're very powerful if they go unchecked with stealth. However, you can counter them, and if you have counters to them, you can easily stop them. In Overwatch, the problem is that in Heroes of the Storm, if you didn't pick a counter when the game starts, like, you're done, right? Like, you're effed. You can't do anything.
That'll be way
about
better here.
Overwatch, yeah, exactly. Overwatch, it kind of has that like the ability to cut. Like, if they made the game and there's no counters to Sombra, then that's on Blizzard. They messed up. I highly doubt that that's the case.
We'll have to wait and see exactly how it plays out. I'm not super worried. Like, I don't think it's going to kill Overwatch. My fear is in my enjoyment, not in the game itself. So.
Yeah, I hear you. But that's, I think, what we've got for the show, man. This was an amazing 1 year show. I don't even know how long.
When you throw in the interview that went long, like, hey, we should be exhausted right now. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I could record episode 47 right now.
I could too. I'm pretty pumped actually. But is there any last minute stuff you want to talk about? Any last minute showdowns? Any reflections of 1 year you want to talk about?
Oh man, as a celebration, can people send us pictures of Overwatch cupcakes and cakes and things like that to celebrate? it's our birthday, guys.
God,
it's our birthday. What is a birthday without a birthday cake or cookies or something, guys? Like it's all those cupcake companies that followed us back in the day when we were tweeting about cupcakes so much. Let's show some love, guys.
Please don't. Please
do it.
It's been such a great couple of months where I get
you
one.
I get, the meme died for a little bit.
It did. It was great. It was so great. Oh my God. But guys, really, truly, from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you for supporting us for a year. We honestly, we're both just as much in the driver's seat of the podcast and ready to go as we've ever been. Probably even more, considering Overwatch League is coming up. I might actually be more excited than when we started.
The hype is so real. I can't. The only thing that could kill it is a really poorly done stealth hero. So it's on you. The only. just don't lose me. Just keep me around. I believe in you. I'll put my faith in you.
If I put in deathmatch modes and 1v1 and 3v3s.
We need zombies.
Kill it as if I do a Halloween event.
If you'd have told me 6 months ago they were adding, I was going to see a horde mode. I was going to see 1v1 duels, 3v3 duels, and a stealth hero, I probably would have quit then.
Wow.
But crazy. With that said, everything looks great. Right now they're ticking off the thing. Well, most of them are things I don't care about. There's only the stealth is the one that I actively dislike. But yeah, I don't know. They're doing a great job, even with things that I don't like. I still, the 1v1s, the 3v3s are so well done that even though I don't really care about them, they were fun. They were entertaining. I enjoyed them.
I really like them.
I will do them on occasion. It won't be super regularly or anything like that. But the fact that they were well done enough that I am willing to concede that much is a statement, because I'm a stubborn guy, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, and I'll leave us on this. I really liked the 1v1 and 3v3, and we are notoriously against brawls, in Hearthstone and Overwatch. I hate brawls. These don't feel like brawls to me. They feel like their own separate game mode.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, we're going to leave you on that. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Thank you to all the people everywhere that have ever supported us ever. Thank you to all the podcast listeners, all that stuff. Guys, remember to check out the giveaway. Yes, the giveaway for the plushies. The plushie. Basically, every link imaginable is going to be in that giveaway, so check that out. Check out Adam Hoek, who did the awesome outro music you're going to hear in just a couple of minutes. I guess future / retroactive thanks to Manny Anakal for doing the interview with us, which hasn't happened for podcast people yet. I don't know. It's always weird talking about future past. The days of futures past. And for the last time in our podcast year life, that sentence made almost no sense, but regardless, it's still high noon.
Got his boots and he put on his hat. He threw the coin away that same day. It's in his past and he's not looking back. He says, finding mine now, God's my way. He's not good, but he sure ain't bad. He'll make amends for the sins that he has. He says, I'll change the world.